Come through and let you know. Keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events. Let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies. Yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics. Everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Yeah. So lend me your ear. Let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain. There ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in. Let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events. Let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies. Yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Garrett.
Hey guys. Hi, Nate.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hello, everybody. Well, how you doing, Nate?
Good.
Good.
Had a good day. Just chilling.
Good.
How about you?
You guys, good. Yeah, really good day too. I think we have a fun show today, guys. We are going to start out again with deepfakes. You know, of all of the topics we've done, that seems to have piqued a lot of people's interest, really.
Well,
Talk to you about the show afterwards.
Yeah, and deepfakes are super interesting.
We're just going to see, obviously, more and more of it.
It's one of those things that in the future, I think we'll go, I can't believe there used to be a world before deepfakes that was where you could trust video.
Ago, it was kind of science fiction. People just really didn't think it was ever going to happen or get here.
Yeah.
That's really naive, obviously, as we're seeing now.
Yeah, I mean, it's already so good. It's getting really scary, to be honest. I think it's honestly really scary.
Wait until we actually develop real, true AI. That's going to be just a whole nother story right there.
No shit. Luckily, all these things will happen at once, and let's call it the singularity, and we'll all die or whatever. So we won't have
I think
to
it's
worry
supposed to
about
be
it
the
very long.
opposite. I think, isn't the singularity supposed to be when basically humanity and AI get so bored, they basically bring back everyone who's ever lived alive again and turns them into an AI. Yeah, I think that's that's the idea of the singularity, I think.
Hang on, I think the idea of the singularity was actually that AI becomes smarter than humans.
Well, that will happen the moment there's a real AI. That will happen.
Yeah, and then it makes an even smarter AI than itself. And then, I forget what the singularity is.
You know, there's kind of like super secret organization that meets. I don't know how often, but it is all about AI, the dangers of it, how to contain it, and they got different ideas when they first think they get into AI. Supposedly, they're gonna have it on in the space station, so it's kind of off world. And
Big mistake.
They're gonna have they're doing that to keep it out of the internet and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because I think once that goes out to the internet, it's kind of a Pandora's box that can never be closed again. And I think they're gonna have a test there, and they're gonna have a fake internet connection, even though it's gonna be not real. They're gonna have a fake one, and if they see the AI go for that at all, they're gonna pull the plug on it and delete it.
That's a good idea. It's funny.
Isn't that kind of crazy to think about?
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah, and then we're going to ask ourselves too, when that happens, when there's real AI. I mean, is that a conscious being? Do they have sentience, type of thing?
I don't think so.
I think yes.
It's kind of like that. Is Data from Star Trek?
Yep.
Is he a being or not?
I don't know Star Trek.
You gotta watch it.
Which is crazy. I'm a big nerd. I love that sort of stuff.
Oh my god, The Next Generation's the best, dude.
I've just got to watch it. I don't know why. When I was younger, I was just more into Star Wars and never got into it.
It's really
I think
great.
so. I don't think there's anything unique about consciousness that can't happen outside of a meat body type of thing. And I'm not so convinced that we don't start incorporating living tissue with silicon chips anyway when it comes time for AI.
It's an interesting question, though. But, I kind of think a really smart toaster is still just a toaster. It doesn't have will. You know what I mean?
That's because we haven't had anything close to AI yet.
Right.
True AI that's actually making decisions and thinking and logical.
But even if it's really smart and thinking, it's still not really conscious.
What makes you think that?
Because it's not living.
What makes you think that?
It's just like an electrical.
So our definition right now of a living object?
Grows and
basically self-replicates. That's about it. So, I mean, if you have an AI that starts self-replicating, by definition, then it's living.
Well, according to Webster, not according to me.
That's more according to science. Yeah,
according to stupid scientists, not according to Nate.
I mean, it's obviously it's not a objective definition. It's definitely very subjective.
Yeah.
But I don't know why there'd be a difference. I think it's safe to say that humanity has gone through evolution to get here, and we've gone from non-thinking to thinking. I don't think that's outside of the box to think that we're going to have the same thing happen with computers.
We'll have to talk about that more because, I don't know, obviously.
Really, we started with basically probably some sort of proton that was getting blown around by water.
Yeah.
And started making connections and then got some sort of a structure to hold it together.
How did life begin? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, basically. So I don't know why that would be that far out to. I don't think there's anything special about our meat suits when it comes to consciousness that can't be replicated.
I think there might be something special about the meat suits, and we are alive, and a computer made of metal.
All right, what if
will never be alive, no matter how smart it is?
What if they do a perfect copy of your AI gets here and they make a perfect copy of your brain as an AI?
But my brain is made out of neurons, I suppose, just like my brain?
You could, yeah, we could. I don't think it will be. I think it's more of a limitation.
And somehow the spark of life is put into it?
Yeah. And then we start getting into that philosophical religion thing.
Well, no, that's what it comes down to. It ends up being like, well, living things, have the spark of life from God, probably. And a computer can never have that. And maybe that's what consciousness, you know what I mean? We're getting pretty deep here, Garrett.
Yeah.
For the first minute of our weird show.
Let's say you're an atheist, right? And you're talking to an atheist.
Okay.
I think you'd have a hard time convincing an atheist there's something special about a brain that can't be replicated by AI in the future.
Sure, but I guess I'll believe it when I see it, and until then, it's probably never gonna. You know what I mean? Like a computer. I don't know if a computer can have consciousness, ever. No matter how smart it is, even if it can write and sing and dance and have poetry, it still doesn't know anything of what it's doing in any way that's conscious.
You're going to have to convince me what is different between what a computer can do and a brain can do then, eventually. I know we're not there yet.
Yeah. And then the first thing I would say to that is live. One of them can be alive, and the other one can't be.
Why not?
And consciousness requires something that is alive. In my off-the-cuff opinion here. Why not? Why can't a machine be alive? But it's almost like everything that you know of now that has consciousness is alive, right? Nothing
every
as
life,
of now.
Yeah. Every life form we know of right now lives on Earth, but we could very easily deduce that that's not a big enough sample.
Sure. And I think that aliens have consciousness because they're alive.
I'm just using because this is all we know.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like the sample of one, basically.
Right. But it stands to reason that it might be the only. It might be a prerequisite. Is that in order to have consciousness, you have to be alive. They go hand in hand so far. And then
Not
you go,
convinced.
well, what is alive? Maybe a computer's alive.
Not convinced. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I'm not doing a very good job of. I don't even know
either.
what I think. So.
Yeah. Well, should we move on and show some deepfakes? Let's back up a couple thousand years to now.
Okay. So I wanted to show this. Should we start with this or the Eminem song?
I don't know. I haven't seen this yet, so I don't know what.
Let's just do the Eminem song real quick because I haven't seen it. And this
explains it to people, but basically
this was
a song written supposedly by AI. We don't have true AI, but fake AI. And this was sent to somebody who's good with computers and stuff, and they turn it into vocals and a sound, like a song track. But this isn't any human singing this, just so people know what we're watching here.
Right. So this song was written and performed by a computer.
Written and performed by a computer.
Supposed to be a diss track too.
The epical CEO who's on a sack of fam when he ain't doing shrooms and having sex in VIP. These rakes quirking his ex-employees that he got rid of, claiming he's gonna create another Twitter. But let me stop you right there. Buddy, you were broke. We can see it in your eyes. They're drifting off to some island in the sky. And your body is broken, frail from sick, jacked up cryogenic lie that you told your bitch white. Making this shit post like a hoe. All the people that helped you build this shit hole of a sight are shaking their heads in shame at what you become. And they're running from your dreams like you're the devil, shielding their eyes from the tragedy you become. Mark Zuckerberg, you little internet clown. You got a girl's name, but you're a man of the ballrooms. You think you keep us with a thing that you made, but I don't use it and I don't really care. You're so stupid, you don't even use it yourself. When you wake up, you're like the man who invented toast. Yeah, you're a computer, we are boo. I'm also a computer, but I don't suck movies. I'm also a computer, and I don't let guys give me handies. The name should be Face Bar, because you're all bark. You got no bite, but the way you bark is kinda hot. You got those glossy eyes, and you're all hairy too. You're so hairy, you're getting hairier every day. I'm making a Photoshop picture of you tomorrow. I'm gonna make you into a real big hairy steamboat. I'll call you Mark by the river, cause you're a phony. You made your fortune off the backs of others' art. You were a virgin till you were 23, but now you're a billionaire and you're all so smart. You're so smart, you're feeling dummy. You've got a great school education, but now you're a mogul. You on Instagram, but you don't like pictures of you. You're rich and you're a liar. I'm tired of your stupid games. I'm tired of hearing you talk. You're a weak man with a smart mouth. I bet you use your smart mouth to make stupid remarks. You're so stupid that you started Facebook because your name is Zuckerberg. You're so stupid that you say I'm feeling a little sick. You're so stupid and you smile. You're 26, you're so stupid. You're not in college anymore. You're not part of a fraternity. You're just a little big stupid internet clown. Take your comfy hoodie off and show us what's under it. Bet on your forehead. You got a little dick. You're so small in the pants. There's no wonder Facebook was your idea. You're like a McDonald's without the beef. You're like a Burger King, ugly without the Whopper. You're so stupid. You had to ask the owner of Rap Genius to tell you what this meant. You're not a genius. You're a damn clown. This is the last thing I'll say to you. Soft and the song will be over. You're a piece of shit and you should feel bad for what you've done. I've been scammed by you and now you're gone. Your face lost by.
Wow.
Isn't that all crazy?
Dude, if a computer wrote that, it's really way too good already.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be written at all by a human. It's just basically an insult bot type of thing. Wrote those lyrics.
And then they make it sound like Eminem super well.
Yeah, obviously it's not Eminem singing that.
Damn, they can really make it sound
I don't know if Eminem's good enough to be singing that.
Probably not. He wouldn't have come up with the line, "You little big stupid clown."
Did you hear about the AI bot on Twitter that they had to delete? Because it started just saying a bunch of racist stuff.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But apparently that was just kind of...
Well, there have been a bunch of examples of that, because I thought you were going to say it started having its own language with another AI bot.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Facebook.
Like that, too. Yeah, this is Twitter. They released... I think it was Twitter. They released it on there, thinking it'd be all fun and stuff. But then basically some trolls figured out how to feed it different vocab words and stuff like that. So they just made it super racist.
That cracks me up.
Yeah.
Well, this song was way too good if it was written by a computer. I
Yeah, how
kind
about
of am
that?
suspicious of it that they helped it, you know?
I know.
Like things
We're
like,
taking people's word on it.
right.
But
But
even how you
It
didn't
said you
even-
got a little dick, you're little in the pants. I mean, I guess an insult bot could do that too.
Yeah.
But
But
they combined the insults, you know?
There's one where, I mean, we could probably find an insult bot. It might be fun to mess around with. But there's one where they're talking about how he doesn't even use Facebook, and that's kind of a known thing. And there's another one that is like, and you hate it when your pictures are posted.
Right.
And supposedly that's true too.
Okay,
You
so
try
yeah,
to-
when I was hearing that, I was thinking, well, they told it things about him to say.
Yeah, I wonder how they set that up.
Right.
I know.
And then another one line that I thought was funny in there was, Mark Zuckerberg, you've got a girl's name. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That sounds like a computer insult.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that doesn't make sense. The hairy boat or whatever
Oh, yeah,
it was.
yeah.
So then I'll call you Mark down by the river.
Yeah. It was
But it,
really
if
great,
this
though.
wasn't written by a bot, it would be really easy to throw in some nonsense stuff to kind of throw people off.
right, or kind of do both. The bot wrote
Yeah.
I'll bet the bot wrote the
I
examples we
think
just
I,
said.
I think it's not that far fetched to think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And, you know, they gave it a little help or they put in the things it could talk about.
Are grouped together, the same subject type stuff.
But,
Which
you
I
know-
have no idea if they did that, but it'd be
Right, I
fun to
don't know.
watch them do this.
And they really did sound like Eminem, though. You know,
Yeah,
that's,
I know.
That's what's
That's kind
amazing.
of a weirder thing.
So
Yeah,
there's a deep fake in that way.
for sure. Yeah, it's kind of they kind of. It would have been really cool if they would have done. So they kind of did the deep fake of the lyrics. They had a computer write the lyrics. They had a computer basically sing the songs. It'd been really cool if they would have used a deep fake of him, or else like a hologram or something to make it look like he's singing and dancing to it, rather than just taking clips, nonsense clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That'd
Which
have been kinda
I'm sure
cool.
they could do. There's probably
Yeah.
a guy doing that right now.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would. They could make a music video with him. Okay, so let's watch this deepfake video now because I think it's super interesting. It shows an example of a deepfake being used against someone.
Oh, are we gonna watch all 9 minutes?
Maybe. We'll skip around
Okay.
if it's too slow.
Okay.
Doylestown, Pennsylvania, a town of just over 8,000. 16-year-old Madeline Heim is a cheerleader here, a sport where success could lead to major competitions and potential scholarship opportunities. But any future in the sport was put in jeopardy by this video. This is a deepfake, a digitally manipulated fake video showing Madeline smoking a vape, which authorities say she never did.
I went in the car and started crying and was like, that's not me on video because
how
I thought
confused
if
would
I
she
said
be?
it,
No shit.
You know, people say that all the time when they get caught on like security cameras. And it's not
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's just someone looks just like you.
Right, exactly. And she even says, like, I didn't think anyone would believe me. But this just happened. So this is maybe the first real example. It's the first one I've heard of someone using a deepfake again to like destroy someone's reputation. Just regular people. And I think we're gonna start seeing lots of this maybe.
Politicians and
Oh,
eventually we're gonna have something caught on camera, like Biden sniffing a young girl or Cuomo harassing someone, and someone's gonna call it a deep fake, and everyone's gonna believe it
Yeah.
because the media's gonna tell us this is a deep fake.
And it probably will happen that there'll be an example of that where it is a deep fake.
Yep.
And then there'll be an example of it where it's not, but they claim it is,
Yep.
and that'll be believed. And we're going to get to a really weird spot where video can't be trusted almost at all. And it'll be but it'll still be kind of used against us, but not, you know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? Okay, I'll keep this going.
that no one would believe me because obviously, like, there's proof, like, it's a video, but the video was obviously manipulated.
The video was allegedly sent to Madeline's
It
cheer
doesn't look
coaches to
great,
get her in
but it looks
trouble,
good enough.
And she
This is
isn't
like it's all
alone. Two of her
grainy.
children
Nokia
teammates were
phones.
also
Yeah,
victims
yeah.
of deep fake photos and videos that make the three girls appear to be naked, drinking, and smoking. All of them sent to their cheer coaches.
I just knew it wasn't real because I don't do that. It was hard because we didn't know who it was and who was doing this to me, and probably what scared me the most.
The alleged suspect behind it all, according to this criminal complaint, is a cheerleader's rival mom from Madeline's cheerleading
Look at
squad,
this
Rafaela
idiot.
Ainella, who was charged with 3 counts of cyber harassment of a child and 3 counts of harassment.
What a
Ainella has
psycho.
denied
In the
all of
future,
charges.
they're going to
The
call that
essence
child
of it
porn
was
too,
to
because
knock
they're
them
under
down,
18.
to make them appear that they were
that.
not law.
Yeah.
There was a Supreme Court case on if like art, like drawing, like if you draw, if it could be considered possession of child porn and stuff. I'm pretty sure that the conclusion was no,
Okay.
but it was a very close trial, if I remember right. I'm not going to Google that to look
Yeah,
that one
weird.
up. But yeah, that was actually a Supreme Court case. I could see this being different for this in the,
Right. It's like
future.
a deep faked minor
Yep.
naked.
Yep.
That's, there's going to be some weird questions in the future.
Yeah.
Abiding, that they were, that their morals were corrupted, essentially to try to shame them or get them knocked off the team would appear to be the motivation.
This small city cheer rivalry may have gotten out of hand, but it only begins to skim the surface of how dangerous deepfake videos
Now he
can
talks
be
about deepfakes
in the
and
wrong hands.
it's pretty good.
We as technologists have to take more responsibility for the technologies that we are developing and unleashing on the world.
Like this video, it shows the dangers of deepfake technology by manipulating world leaders into saying what the creators wanted them to say.
Is it not hard for democracy to collapse?
Yeah, it's essentially a detective game. You're given an image, a video, or an audio, and you're asked to determine if it's authentic. I mean, this happens almost on a daily basis now.
Experts say that women are subject to the majority of deepfake crimes when their faces are edited into pornographic content.
Probably the most damaging deepfakes are ones that you and I have not seen, and those are in the form of non-consensual pornography. I suspect it's just a matter of time before we start seeing the entryway of deepfakes into the political arena as well.
Big Hollywood
You know what
studios have
porno,
sometimes
you know what
taken
possibly- you know
advantage
what
of
porno companies will sometimes do right now, some of the more unscrupulous ones, is they'll scour like Instagram, Facebook, all those, and they'll find like a girl or a group of girls in like swimsuits, and they'll put it up, but they'll put like a black bar or blur out kind of where their swimsuit would be, so it looks like they were naked.
Oh, funny.
And they'll use that for like thumbnails and for like advertisements and stuff. Because people coming through, they'll say like, "You can't do this. This is me. And they're doing this without my consent, and I'm wearing clothes for real in this picture, but here it looks like
It looks naked because of a black bar.
Yeah, it's almost like they're porn stars."
That's funny.
deepfake technology for their films, the Star Wars franchise using it to complete The Rise of Skywalker after Carrie Fisher died before its completion.
How weird is that? She
Yeah.
died, and then they're like, well, we still need this scene. We'll just make a computer image of her. Now we're getting into the hologram shit again that we talked
Yeah,
about
because
with
like, where
Tupac.
does it stop? I mean,
Yeah.
they just keep going. Like they
Yeah,
make
'cause
another
she-
Star Wars, they use her again, and
Right.
just not pay her, not pay anybody.
Right, right.
Just use her. Well, we own her likeness, so we're just gonna use this forever.
Yeah. And those they could even say, well, that's not Carrie Fisher, that's Leia. You know? So it's really weird.
I don't know if you watch Trailer Park Boys at all, but you know
I do. It's a great show.
after Netflix and stuff came, it got really popular again. So they went to make another series, but people are getting really old. Like Leahy died and stuff. The last episode, the arc was that they ate too much mushrooms and it turned everything into a cartoon. So now I think it looks like they're going to do that. So everyone's a cartoon. They just keep going forever, even though everyone's getting really old and stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah, so this would just
that's kind of a smart way to do that.
Very.
I like the idea of like, oh,
as a fan, I'm like, well, at least this way I get some more series and stuff, hopefully.
yeah. I just like that they went ahead and made an explanation for why it's a cartoon now. That's clever.
This mission is everything. We cannot fail.
We expected Amy to win.
But it's not.
I thought this is from a couple years ago. I thought this one was pretty good. Like, what the fuck? They put Steve Buscemi on Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
And it's really good. And this is from 2 years ago, probably, or 3. I don't know.
Not just the big screen. The most popular videos are ones that have gone viral on social media.
You see, I would never say these things.
Like, this one's old,
From former
looks
President
bad.
Obama.
It's so much
Sounds
better.
bad
On
even.
behalf
Yeah.
of myself, your queen, and all at Channel 4.
To Spider-Man.
We have to shut it down. It's the real thing.
With technology developing enough for individual graphic artists to be able to create videos so realistic, it's hard not to believe your eyes.
A lot of people tried calling that one fake, saying it was basically just a lookalike.
Oh, not a deepfake?
Yeah.
Oh, but they're deepfakes.
But yeah. This one here, though, it kind of, there's a little bit of a stir. But yeah, it was definitely a deepfake.
They show the guy who makes these, and he doesn't look like Tom Cruise very much. So it's not a lookalike.
Like this TikTok.
You guys cool if I play some sports?
Just a day on the golf course for the Top Gun star. Except this is not Tom Cruise's TikTok, and this is not Tom Cruise, but an eerily uncanny recreation made by this guy.
I'm Chris Yume. I live in Belgium. I'm 31 years old, and I'm an AI specialist and a VFX artist as well.
His videos of not Tom Cruise have been viewed millions of times online.
We made these silly videos where it looked like Tom Cruise.
Dude, it's so weird to me.
He was playing golf, eating a lot.
Dude,
of
else is going to start affecting
really
is dating apps. Big time. We already see filters and everything really changing those. These ones are going to bring it up to the next level.
Oh, yeah. So they go on. We'll skip ahead here. This guy goes on to show this guy. He works in AI, and they show them doing it in real time.
Oh, cool.
So I'm sitting. You could be live on a Zoom. This is what he talks about. You could be live on a Zoom call talking to someone, and it's not them. You know what I mean? But they're interacting with you. They're answering your questions. But it's deep fake video during a live call, which obviously that would happen. But it's just
it can be a really nice alibi if you're committing a crime or committing murder.
Oh, great! Yeah, no kidding.
No, I was sitting doing the Nate and Garrett show.
Yeah, I was.
Go check my YouTube.
And right now, Garrett and I are actually robbing a bank downtown, but we're a step ahead on this deepfake stuff. That's genius.
To be seen, to be heard at his artificial intelligence startup, Pinscreen, Howe and his team have put together high-level technology that creates deepfakes in real time.
So we created it to show that it's possible to do convincing deepfakes, but also in real time, and swap into anyone you want.
With the program they've built, Howe can turn his researcher, Zujin, into Will Smith, or Leo DiCaprio, or Theresa May, instantly and with frightening accuracy.
At what point do we get to that event horizon where it's too perfect, and then anybody can fake anybody?
Man, someone should hire these guys to do cameos for them. So they think they're good cameos.
That's funny.
Really deep fake.
Yeah.
You know, Snapchat filters are pretty crazy how good and how fast those are instantaneous.
Definitely.
There's actually conspiracy theory that is actually a facial recognition program backed by the government and stuff. And that's how the technology, because it basically jumped from having a weird picture frame around you with some colors to all of a sudden now you have hair and a full beard and a wizard hat or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're saying that jump was so fast, the government must have been involved or something like that. And then they're just using
that creeps me out.
Further along their facial recognition stuff and everything. There's a pretty big, halfway convincing conspiracy theory on that too.
I mean, you know, speaking of that, like if this dude and he's a AI graphics expert, if he's doing this well, think how well probably the government and the military are doing if they've been working on this, which I bet they have. So we're probably
with unlimited resources and
right. So have they been deep faking things for years? That's my question now. What do you think? Do you think you've ever seen a
how easy would it be for a dictator to do that, like in North Korea that doesn't have any access to outside? They're saying, I'm seeing it. What are you talking about? I can see it. I see Biden sniffing kids. Is he telling me, you know, that's not real? You know, it's, I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so here's my question. Before 5 years ago, do you think you had ever seen a deep fake, but you didn't know?
If I had to guess, I'd say no. What do you think?
I guess I would say no too. But I just think it's this brand new technology.
Yep.
I could also see me being wrong. And they could be
in the news.
Actually, Ronald Reagan never existed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know the news has no problem lying as long as they get clicks. I mean, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they edit They edit 911 calls a lot of times to show their narrative. Did you hear the recent one? Do you remember when Trump was a bunch of hot water for the call with the Georgia governor? You remember that? Basically saying, you go and find me those votes. I need.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You go find me those votes, you'll be a hero. Did you know that never happened? They actually were able to find in someone's recycle bin on the computer, the actual phone call recorded. And it wasn't even close to what it said. And of course, I think it was Washington Post that ran it. They had a little tiny retraction like a week ago. You could probably go and Google it and find it. But of course, it's little, and they don't even acknowledge how wrong they were. And of course, they use their unnamed sources close to the president and the governor.
Right. We need consequences for these things.
Absolutely.
Far bigger than
not just
nothing.
a little retraction.
Right. It's just like the New York Times saying that crazy Trump supporters beat a cop to death with a fire extinguisher at the Capitol. Yep. That's a huge lie. They ran out in the front page of the paper, and it was completely made up. That didn't happen at all. The whole Trump lots of people still believe that.
The Trump dossier thing, that was completely fake. People believe that too. That was put out by someone on Hillary Clinton's team to divert stuff with the emails and put pressure on Trump. But then one news station ran with it, and then a different one did, kind of citing them, and a bunch of other people ran with it. So much so, the FBI started investigating it. And when they went back to the FBI and said, "What are you guys investigating? Where's your source?" They used the news. So there's this big circular logic. And it all started with Hillary's campaign, and still people believe that too. Right. That was the start of Trump is a Russian puppet, basically. That was the start of it.
Yeah.
And that is still believed by
completely
95% of Democrats.
Definitely. They still think he just works for the Russians or whatever they think. Yeah, it's really crazy, dude.
That's what was used for Facebook and Twitter to start censoring. That's what, that's how. Then they have the True Squad that goes and fact checks. That's what they use for an excuse too, because supposedly Russia influenced our election.
Yeah. I mean, the media will definitely lie. So.
Yep.
Well, this guy is like a deepfake detection expert, and he goes on to basically say pretty soon we're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, so he might be able to be an expert right now, but eventually there's going to be no being an expert.
Yeah, that's what he says. He's like, right now we can still sort of tell, but real soon it's over. So what are we going to do when every video might be fake?
I don't know. Then maybe there has to be a pretty serious consequence for news running it then. Even if it's an accident and they run it, maybe you need to be careful and think of the consequences before you run the story. Maybe that will stop the mad dash for these news that have to be the first people to report something, whether it's the truth or not, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the news is out of business by then anyway.
Yeah, that's great.
Well,
we actually get some real journalists in this country. That would be a godsend.
God, that'd be interesting. Well, the most interesting thing about this little article to me is that some crazy cheerleader mom
already used it.
Was able to just use it against the high school girls cheerleading team and almost got them kicked off the team, ruined their lives, for being smoking and being naked or whatever, and completely made up deepfakes.
Man.
This is not the end of this. This is the very beginning of this.
Yeah, if this lady can figure it out, what can somebody good do?
Yeah, exactly. How did she figure it out, by the way? Who was she at the bar? I need a deep fake.
I think there's an app out right now where you can take a video on your phone basically and cut someone's head out and put it over already.
Okay.
Maybe she just went with that and made it grainy. I don't know.
Well, what an idiot she is. Okay, I mean that's kind of it on deepfakes today, I think, but pretty crazy.
Yeah. The Eminem one was pretty cool too. Like I said though, I can't decide. I go back and forth thinking, it's really cool a little skeptical on how they did this. But still, just the fact that they have a song that is probably as catchy as any of the crappy songs we see right now anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that they made it sound like Eminem,
Actually, before we move on completely, we should just show these two little things from Bill Hader. Where he doesn't...
Here's the very funny Bill Hader, ladies and gentlemen. It seemed like every movie I saw in the last several months, you were in it, and good for you. That's just great.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
And I was wondering about the one, the Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder.
Where Tom Cruise. You're working with Tom Cruise. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. Like, we got to dance together. That was amazing. We had, like, when you do a movie, you do table reads, where, like, all the actors get together.
At the beginning of the
production. Beginning, before anything, you get together and you read through the script. And so it's like, all these heavyweights, like, Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., everybody. And at the end is, like, me. Like, like, hey. Just happy to be here, guys. And some other supporting guys, and then Tom Cruise walks in,
my God.
And even those guys are like, whoa, and he's super stoked to be there, just like, yeah, oh, boom, he's like,
wow,
he's just immediately excited when he walks into a room. And so he comes over and he sits next to me, and I think he had been briefed on some of the supporting guys, but he was like trying to place me, So he sat down next to me and he's like,
See that?
Yeah.
I love your work. And I went, oh, thanks. I love your work too, Tom Cruise. Thanks. And I go, yeah, I'm friends with Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen, and they went to your house. And went, yes. They did come to my house. And
Look how much that looks like Tom Cruise.
Seth Rogen was like, it was amazing. He has like a bike track in his backyard.
Seth Rogen.
And I did a Seth Rogen impression, and it was like I did a magic trick. Tom Cruise was like, yeah.
Wow.
And he points to me. And he pointed at me and he goes, you do impressions and you're on Saturday Night Live. And I went, hey. It was like he won a game show. He was like, yeah, Tom.
Anyway, I just think that's a really good one where it really
we're going to see when the experts can no longer tell. We're going to see the bullshit body language experts come out and tell us this really wasn't Biden. You tell here Biden does this and this guy does this.
Yeah.
Which I don't buy those at all.
No, I don't.
You know, else is bullshit that people think is handwriting analysis.
Yeah.
You seen some of that? You remember it was not too long ago. The John Benet Ramsey case is obviously super famous. I think most people know there was letters that was left as like ransom letters and stuff. And some guy, he's a weird pedo, recently, like 3-4 years ago, came out and said, I'm the one that did it. I took her and killed her. And he had a crazy story. It's like, I didn't mean to. I loved her, but I killed her. And you remember this at all?
Vaguely.
Basically, he was arrested and questioned. And handwriting experts came out and said, you know what? We have his handwriting. Here's the initial ransom letter. And it's him. Look at these matches. And they showed how he, like, the T would
loops
flourish.
The L, yeah.
And the punchline is it wasn't him. He was just a crazy pedo that came up with this in his head and went and turned himself in. Can't remember how. They were able to prove that he wasn't involved at all, like zero chance. But it already
But how could that be when the handwriting was matched?
Came out and said that it was him. It's a match.
Yeah, that shit's such nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know another?
I hate both of those. And I hate the news uses both of them.
Yeah.
They'll use both of them.
Do you know another thing that's completely unrelated but is also completely bullshit?
I love bullshit. So yeah, tell me.
It's wine tasting. Sommeliers. Have you seen, there's a documentary, I think on Netflix or somewhere called Sommelier. And it's about people training to be wine experts. And the long story short is none of them can ever taste. They all, they take it, go, oh, I detect some nutty flavor. This must be from the south of France and blah, blah, blah. And then they're just completely way off every single time.
There's a similar one, and I think it might have been John Stossel. I can't remember. It was the modern art, and they took these modern art experts and specialists, and they showed them this, and they're basically saying like, oh, you could tell these big swooshes here mean that there's sexual frustration, and they're pissed at, went off and off and on, and they basically said, I just had my kid do that in the back a second ago, and the experts got visibly
pissed.
upset and everything.
Yeah, because they're being exposed
Yeah.
for not knowing what the hell they're talking
Yeah.
about. Just
Yeah.
for being
I think
bullshit
that's
artists.
shit. I think another one is kind of like the food tasters too, is almost the same thing. They'll take a bite of something and act like, oh, the salt, it overwhelmed me. And people are like, oh, they just got really strong palates. No, they don't. That's your nervous system. It's not trained any more than yours is. They're acting.
They're acting, yeah. You could take it to the back, bring it back out, say, oh, we fixed it. Oh, now it's delicious.
Yeah.
But the wine thing especially, dude, and actually it makes me think of, it might be that same documentary, but a guy started making fake, super expensive wine, and he was just putting like Welch's grape juice in it and selling it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's another documentary. It's really interesting, actually.
It's all about that reputation and basically the label. I mean, you start making it as a popular wine, you start charging more and more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
more
he was
important
doing.
than anything.
He had, but even from years before, this is a 1968 Chardonnay La France or whatever, and it was just Welch's grape juice and some other shit.
Well, have you seen the experiment they've done where they'll take like 9 people in a room and they'll bring in a 10th. The 9 are actors, and they'll have 2 lines on a chalkboard, and one's obviously longer than the other. Have you seen this? And basically the teacher will say, which one looks longer to you guys? And they'll point at the short one, and the 9 people will raise their hand. So then that 10th will look around and they'll raise their hand.
Oh,
And
I like that.
Look,
cool.
Look at this bottom one. Doesn't that appear bigger? And they get that almost every time. They get that person to say, nope, that top one's bigger. Almost every time.
I want to see that. That's
Yeah.
that's the
Look,
kind of social experiment I really like.
Man, I got one for you. If you want to bring it a step further, do you remember that Darren from the UK that's supposed like a neurolinguistic or whatever?
Yeah.
He's
Darren
got
Brown.
a show on Netflix where he's going to try to get somebody, a normal person, and he's going to bring him through a normal day, and by the end of it, he's going to have him committing murder.
I've heard of that. I think they did that show.
The Push. Yeah, I did it over and over. They did it a ton of times.
Oh, I haven't seen it
And they
yet.
basically there's no further zone. This guy thinks he's in trouble. And the person that's basically a narc on him is sitting on top of a roof, dangling his legs, smoking a cigarette. And they basically say, hey, go push him. We're going to get out of here scot-free if you push him. And the guy's really on wires and stuff. And they go to if the guy pushes him or not. I don't want to give him more away.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And it's interesting because they start really small. Like they tell him, hey, you know what? Just come and I think it was basically work at, it was like a nonprofit dinner. And they tell them, dress casual, just come. We'll have you help around the kitchen maybe a little bit, that sort of thing. And he shows up in a button-up shirt and jeans, and everyone else is in a tux or better. So they start with that. And then the first thing they do is there's a kitchen staff, and they say, hey, can you help really quick? We got to get these hors d'oeuvres out. And they have little flags that say vegan or meat. And there's 2 trays there. They tell him, start putting these on. And he said, well, which one goes on which? And they basically tell him, it doesn't matter. Just put them on. And that's the first one. They start with that. Him just putting a vegan and a meat flag on these hors d'oeuvres is the first part.
Oh, so they get him to start lying a little bit.
And then they just up it up a little bit. And then they go to the part where the keynote speaker is out or late or something. So they talk him into doing it with the keynote speaker's cards. And there's parts to ad-lib the joke and stuff. It's definitely worth a watch.
I want to see it.
It goes into human psychology so much.
I think you could get people to do a lot of things,
That's what he's getting at. Yep.
I've always been amazed by the Darren Brown stuff.
Yeah, Darren Brown.
I've seen a bunch of stuff he's done. I think some of it has been hokey.
I think a lot of it's fake.
Yeah, I think some of it's
But he's kind of tells you that he's a fake artist. So I think he's kind of trying to do that just to He basically said, hey, I'm going to lie to you here. Watch me lie to you.
Yeah.
And then he goes and shows it and says, look, I just paid for this really expensive jewelry with paper.
Right, I remember that one.
He did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much of it is fake and how much of it is real, though.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at it.
We should show some of his clips on our show. And it's always fun to like those dancing dogs where we go and watch those. Hey, is this bullshit or not? We should find some Darren Brown stuff.
Yeah. We should show is one thing where he plays chess against like 15 grandmasters at the same time. But
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, it's really interesting how he does it. But in the end, he ends up tying with half of them. And it's because...
So is he basically just playing to stalemate, essentially?
Well, no, he's actually playing them against each other, but they don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he is doing the moves, but he's playing each person's moves.
That's really smart.
Yeah, it is. But he has to remember it.
Do you remember
he's walking in a circle.
You remember back when the internet was super new and like Yahoo games had chess and you play against different people and you get a rating and stuff for doing it? Turns out what some of those people were doing is they would have another chess on the side and they'd turn it up to like super hard. And they would mimic like
no wonder.
They're going against, they go against like their opponent moved rook to.
So then they do whatever the computer did.
And they just do that same thing and they'd see what the computer would do to that move.
That explains why I always lost in these freaking online games, man.
I mean, those AIs there are really good. I mean, they beat the best chess players ever. At least go around for their money. You're having a hobbyist sitting there thinking he's going to play YouTube games. He's in trouble.
Right. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, Garrett, was this. The judge rules that Epstein VIP pedo ring details are too shocking for the public to see. That pisses me off so much. I mean, I feel like she shouldn't be able to do that.
I think this is a bit of a sensationalized headline. It's still fucked up, but I think we'll have to look into it. I think there's just some names redacted. And I think there's a chance they're minors.
Okay.
But people are turning that into kind of clickbait.
That is a great, man. If they took that and made this headline.
Like I said, we got to check though. I'm not 100% sure on that. The only reason I even started looking into it, because everything I would see, every headline was a bit different. And it felt like a big game of telephone to me. I'm like, wait a minute. This headline was saying that it was this part. This headline was saying this.
Yeah. See, I've only seen this and been outraged by it.
I know.
But it's probably just redacting minors' names. I'm for that.
Yeah. Let's look into it.
Okay.
And I'm glad people are on their toes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people have their guard up. But our media is just terrible, if that's the truth.
Here's a picture of Kamala Harris at a party with Ghislaine Maxwell behind her.
Well, you've seen the picture of her at Chelsea Clinton's wedding, right?
I don't know. Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. That's where Chelsea Clinton's wearing an upside down cross?
Is she really?
Yeah, but she's a known Satanist. She even says she's
pull it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anything cringier?
No, there's not. Talk about real life edgelords.
Yeah. Hey, what's Snopes say? Oh, that was the Melinda one. Never mind.
So here's one image. There's a bunch of them, actually.
And they've actually asked her about this, and she said she's a Satanist. Oh, that's for real?
Yeah. Hang on. I'll just type, is Chelsea Clinton a Satanist? Oh, Chelsea Clinton denies affiliation.
So that would be... Man, let's say she is a Satanist. I don't think they're letting her go public with that.
Yeah. Watch this. Chelsea Clinton exchange with Church of Satan. Here we go. She's really beautiful. There are tweets between her and the Church of Satan.
Do I ever think of her? There was a quote where she thought she was being really deep, and they talked to her about her. I can't remember what they're talking to her about, but she goes, "You know what? Money really doesn't bother. I don't really money's not important to me. I'm not really worried about money. Like they said, like, oh, she's got a place that she pays millions of dollars a year for, and she's never had to work a day in her life. But really good of her to not be so superficial, not be in the money.
Yeah. Must be tough. Must be hard to be above money when you have $400 million.
Yeah. Real easy to say you don't need it when you have so much of it.
All I get is the shit.
All right, there you got True there.
She wished the Church of Satan a happy new year. 2018.
We got to get into the Chrissy Teigen stuff too.
Yeah, we should, man.
She's got some really weird tweets. She got exposed by Q followers, and that was the beginning and the end for Q on Twitter anyway. But she's got some really...
Yeah, one of her tweets is like, watching little girls... watching toddlers and tiaras do splits. Send me to jail.
Yeah.
It's like, what the...
And she's even got some cannibal type tweets and stuff too, where say, are you just trying to be edgy here? But this is really weird. Speaking of conspiracy, should we talk about the number one tennis player in the world?
Yeah. Okay, let's bring that up. Where is it?
All right, so this is I can't even say this guy's name, but he's huge. I think he's huge in Europe. I think he's the number one tennis player right now, the ranked number one. And basically, he came out and said that he's not against vaccinations, nothing like that. And he's not against other people making the decision for themselves to get this. He basically said he's not going to get this, if I have this story straight. But even this headline seems to corroborate that, where personally I'm opposed to vaccination, and I wouldn't want to be forced by someone to take a vaccine in order to be able to travel.
I agree with him.
Yeah. Speaking of, do you know it looks like they are working on those COVID vaccine travel visas.
If there's one person on earth that was destined for being a Satanist, it's Bill and Hillary Clinton's child. No kidding, crack party. But Garrett,
you got to do a crazy conspiracy on just Satanism and Hollywood and the elites and
the Illuminati, and we should. We will.
Some really crazy stuff there that we're gonna have to just dive in.
Yeah, because there's so much. Actually, it's just so much shit. We just need to start diving in. But you said that they're actually going to do a vaccine passport. I'm so shocked. I can't believe that.
The governor of Florida basically said he is not allowing it in Florida. He's basically trying to say that if any venues come there and try to do like proof of vaccines to get in and stuff, that he's going to basically say, no, you can't do that.
Good.
So hopefully other red states start set up for that too.
That dude's a hero. He should be nervous for his life.
I know. Did you see what donut place is it? Basically, if you prove that you're vaccinated, they'll give you a donut every day or every week right now.
Gross.
Type in donut vaccination, you'll see it. But it's just kind of funny that COVID killed 78% of people that died from COVID are obese. Get Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. Yeah. Yikes, dude. You know, it's things like this. It's little things like this that make me more suspicious of it. It's like, hey, we'll give you a donut. You just got to take the vaccine. It's like, why are you pushing this so hard?
But you still got to wear 2 masks and not see people. But anyway, when this tennis player came out and said this, of course, conspiracy theorists would say he should watch out. He's got to be careful. And everyone said, oh, yeah, the big bad Hitman are going to get him. Pull up that second article I sent you. We should have played the crazy conspiracy for this one.
Oh, we should have.
Look at this. This Serbian model came forward and basically said she was approached by a guy and she completely believes him. He was offering her 60,000 euros to seduce him and film them having sex. And this is a guy that's got family and he's married and everything.
Yep.
And so she came out, and now we need to watch out for her probably But her coming forward like this is probably going to save her life, really.
How crazy.
But you know that number one tennis player holds a lot of his opinion holds a lot of clout.
Yeah, they can't have him being against
his
it.
Reputation.
Right.
Yeah.
So they wanted to ruin his reputation, get this girl to sleep with him, destroy his marriage, and make it look like he's a scumbag.
Like he's a crazy guy.
And then slander him. And
the same thing the media tried to do to Kanye West when he came out as a Trump supporter. And the same thing they tried to do with who else came out as a Trump supporter towards the end, that they tried to do the same thing.
But why would they do that, Garrett, when all of this COVID stuff is definitely real and there's nothing weird about it?
Are these the early ones in the news and shows of healthy people dying? Look at this. People were believing this, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I was believing. Why wouldn't I? It was just they were saying people are dying in the streets.
Yeah, the experts were showing us
this was all over the news. I saw this. I thought there's a dead guy outside the bus.
The experts told us that 5 million Americans were going to be dead by April.
Right. Why?
Best case scenario.
Okay, look at that, man. So they're pushing these obvious lies in retrospect. Why? Why? And why is it still being pushed? What are obvious lies?
Right when the shutdowns happened, the COVID cheerleaders were very much like, look, if it looks like in retrospect that we overreacted, good. That means it worked. So basically they were saying they couldn't be wrong. If they shut everything down and destroyed the economy and 10 people died, they would have waved the victory flag and say, look, only 4 people died. Yay, us.
I remember that argument.
Yeah,
you're totally right. They were
crazy how fast that came out too. Those were memes being shared by grandmas over Facebook and stuff.
They were covering their ass for when nobody was going to die. They were saying, well, we did it.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
I know it seems extreme, but it worked.
We can't be wrong.
And at the same time, they got this playing.
Right.
Jeez.
My favorite one's coming up here. This one's my favorite. Because he can't help himself. He catches himself.
Just died so fast he was still standing up. Do you know these are becoming urban legend, these videos? It's so hard almost impossible to delete something from the internet. But these are starting to become conspiracy theories where people are starting to deny that these happened.
Well, people are really stupid.
That's
so I'm not surprised.
gaslighting to the extreme.
Yeah. Okay, watch this one, Garrett. What's great about this is he's standing straight up. He starts falling. He can't help himself. He catches himself. They should cut his pay in half for sucking at dying. He sucked at pretending to die.
He's got lots more viewers from everyone scared and wanting new info on the virus. I fell for it watching this every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Miggles. I did too.
People were scared, and
I thought 10 million people would die in the middle of the road like this guy.
Yeah.
Turns out this is completely fake. Why would it be fake? What? And it's strange what happened in the wake of this fake shit. The whole world shut down. Now we got vaccine passports coming to America.
All they needed to do was use the left's hate for Trump to just get this going. They just got enough people to be opposing Trump and then to start cheerleading for COVID, where now it just take off. It's in a life of its own now. People do not like to admit they're wrong. We still have Europe doing full-time lockdowns. We still have did you see Fauci again? Said that how Gretchen Whitmer has done such a good job, and she's going through the same scandal Cuomo did, where she killed a bunch of old people. But they're just opened up to 25% capacity, and Fauci warned her on opening up too soon. Isn't that insane? Red states never even got that shut down, but Fauci's come out and saying, "Hold up, back off,
slow down."
Hold up. Yeah,
dude. I mean. It looks so nefarious to me.
Yes.
It looks like they are evil. Yep. The whole agenda is evil. They're trying to push a fake, evil, tyrannical agenda to destroy the American economic system and
of a lot of civil liberties.
Yes.
And you're starting to get
Bill of Rights.
It's almost like you're QAnon right now if you think freedom's important.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
It's book coming out about Fauci.
What's it called? Rat Fink runs the government. He is a mousy little
He's an evil
turd.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
No.
Well, you mentioned Whitmer. I've got a little thing about that. Where is it?
Speaking of evil pieces of shit.
No. It's just the one where it shows the 5 states that threw old people into nursing homes.
And they were all Democrat governors, right?
Yes.
One of them is the transitioned female that is going to be the Secretary of Health.
Right. So
from Pennsylvania. That was one of them.
Yeah.
And they even asked her, Jen Psaki, about it. And she basically said, well, I'm going to do some more research, but that's not the same at all.
Okay, so let me just read this. 45 out of 50 U.S. governors did not force COVID-19 infected patients into nursing homes, but 5 of them did. And then it goes on to say that is nearly 40% of all COVID-19 deaths in the United States. That's not an accident. That's premeditated murder. Now,
They've got to change that to 6.
Is there a
How
6th
he
governor?
became America's doctor. Yeah, it was, or I guess it wasn't governor, but as the health secretary. Supposed to do that.
That's from Pennsylvania with Tom Wolf.
Yep. Oh, he's there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's these chodes. Look at these. If there's an evil deep state and the governors are in on it, it's these 5 evil weirdos. Look at this guy. I mean, I already hate Newsom and Cuomo and Whitmer. I don't know much about these two except they're willing to throw COVID-infected people into nursing homes. It all seems so obviously planned to me. They wanted these old people to die.
So
Shock.
I'm going to tease a thing that we were hoping to get to tonight, but we're going to have to Thursday. Let's not get into the lowering testosterone levels thing today.
Okay.
Because I got a funny one that ties into Fauci.
Interesting.
There's a YouTube show. I'm gonna save it. I can't wait to show you guys this. It's gonna work so well with your testosterone stuff you got.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's play this in regards
to
to
Levine. Her
Whoops. Okay, let's play this.
confirmation has gotten a lot of opposition from Republicans, specifically about the COVID nursing home scandal. She's implicated in Pennsylvania for signing a directive on May 18th while taking her own mother out of the nursing home. There was the same scandal that Cuomo is facing in New York, and the governor in Pennsylvania is under investigation. So why does your administration feel that Rachel Levine should get a pass on this and get such a high official position at the Health and Human Services Department?
I'd have to look into more specifics of the detail here. It does not sound at all to me like that her scenario is similar to the scenario in New York, but we'll follow up with you.
It doesn't, because it's exactly the same lady.
If there's someone, yeah, it's give me a good one. I think we have a good segment. We could even kind of turn it into a crazy conspiracy. Kind of really crazy, but there's an author that makes the argument that the average male way back when was way more athletic and more capable than our best Olympic athletes, even at like their specialty. So like the average male is a better swimmer than the Olympic males are now and stuff, which is kind of funny when you look nuts. When you look at like the Olympics. Do you ever see that GIF that's like the gymnastics gold medalist winner in like 1960 compared to like 2016 or whatever?
No,
I
haven't.
Insane. Really. That's the difference. We'll just show. You know what? We'll show up for next show too.
Oh wait, yeah, I think I know what you mean, but it's like they turn around once in 1960. We do 8 front flips.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, let's show that. Let's show it because it's an important argument.
Yeah.
100 years
her confirmation has gotten a lot of opposition.
We'll get into it next show. Let's not. Don't even do it now.
Oh, okay.
We'll add it. We'll add it to the testosterone.
Okay.
argument.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yes, we have a cool testosterone show next week or next Thursday, I think. But Jen Psaki, what a terrible job she's doing. I know it's almost a no-win job, but you mean.
Oh, she sucks.
I guess the media has finally asked her a hard question because they were doing just such lob balls that when she couldn't even answer those, they changed it to pre-screened only questions for a while. I don't know if they're still doing that or not.
Well, how could she say that the scandals are different between what Rachel Levine did in Pennsylvania and what Cuomo did in New York? It's the same thing. They put COVID-infected patients into nursing homes and then a bunch of old people died.
And I think the most important part is took her mom out.
Yeah, she took her mom out first. First, let's show Rachel Levine because she's a really beautiful woman and she's.
And you're canceled if you don't agree with us.
Right. Don't
You know
dare
the
say
next
anything
thing?
other than
You know
she
the
is
next
a
thing?
beautiful girl. What?
You know the next thing you can't say right now is a biological male. You can't, or biological female. You can't. That's going to be the next hate thing.
Saying
By
biological.
Yep. So when we watch a college women's basketball game and there's a biological male or a transitioned female that's 6'5" and out there playing against these females, it is now hate to point out that that is not a biological female.
I'm glad that I don't give a shit what these people think.
Yep. Yep. But
Look, no one can tell me that this isn't a beautiful, strong woman. And if anyone wants to argue with me, that I would take her on a date tomorrow if I could be so lucky.
Health, mental and physical health.
Look, and here's another thing. If you think it's unfair that this beautiful woman took her mother out of a nursing home before forcing COVID-infected patients into nursing homes, then I think you're transphobic.
So if this picks up steam, we could get a lot of money. Do you remember the Predict It that we used to go to? There's one right now, yes or no, if she's going to be the next director of health. And it's almost 100% yes on that.
Right.
So we could buy it probably for a couple pennies, a bunch of no's.
Except I think she will be. I don't think it will matter.
I
mean,
if this starts picking up legs, we should maybe look at it.
Dude, at this point, she could go stab an old lady by her on film, and you still would have to hire her because it would be transphobic not to. Like, what's the administration going to do? Not hire her?
Cuomo's another one. There's now bets if Cuomo makes it to the end of the term. There's bets if he gets impeached or not. There's bets if he resigns or not.
I don't think he'll resign.
Did you hear there's another one just yesterday, and it's a current aide this time? A current aide came out and said that he's been very sexually inappropriate with her. That's up to 9 now.
Wow, he's got almost.
Can you imagine if he was not a Democrat?
Yeah, he has almost as many as Joe Biden then.
How about that? If he was not a Democrat, it'd be so funny to see. And if you'll see like a thread on Reddit about this, and there'll be like 10 threads about like how it's different, how it doesn't count, and how these people. And then the 11th comment will be like, see, the difference is us on the left, we hold our whatever to higher standards. And this is us looking into it. It's like, no, it's not. You guys are all making excuses.
Yeah, you're giving them a pass. Yeah, you're giving them a pass, and you've given them passes for the last 20 years. Me Too disappeared because of Biden. We've talked about that a lot.
Man, I think we got a pretty cool show on Thursday on that testosterone thing. We'll have to get into that.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm worried that Joe Biden's going to get handsy with Rachel Levine once he hires her.
I can't wait till
he has a habit of that, Garrett.
Can't wait till his dementia kicks in and he starts referring to her as he.
Ooh.
What's going to happen then?
Oh, God. He'll finally get canceled then.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's a beautiful woman, and she didn't murder a bunch of old people purposefully with COVID. And I'm sticking to that. And no one can tell me that she purposely murdered old people, okay? Yuck.
Oh, well, we're over an hour. I know Mondays we typically go a little bit longer. Should we play it out?
Okay, yeah, let's play it out. I've got a one.
We should do the elephant. I think most people have probably seen it now, but we should do the elephant.
All right, let's do this elephant first.
Okay. Holy cow.
You ever seen a chicken this big? Holy shit.
Is this a perspective thing, or is that a really big chicken?
No, it's like a really big chicken. It's like the biggest chicken in the world, I guess. Anyway, I just saw it and it blew my mind.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
What the hell is this? So anyway, there you go. All right, should we show the elephant charge at the cage?
Yeah, I think most people will probably see this already. You might want to go to...
What? YouTube, probably?
Yeah, probably.
This was at,
probably that one.
This was at the San Diego Zoo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think that minute 35 one in the middle is a good one.
Oh, whoops.
Not that one. Yeah, go. That one there.
All right.
I think it's actually just the raw
We
footage.
turn now to San Diego.
Oh,
And a
God
terrifying
damn it.
scene there. Witnesses say a man and his toddler barely escaped with their lives after allegedly bypassing multiple barriers at the San Diego Zoo, coming within feet of a charging elephant.
Just show us.
Elizabeth
Yeah.
Schulze has
Don't
more.
fucking say it.
Tonight, harrowing new video showing an elephant charging at a 2-year-old girl
Don't
and her
tell us
father.
again.
Moments after they allegedly broke
Check your
into
email quick.
Yeah.
I got the unaltered one, and it's just kind of interesting the sounds the elephant makes and stuff. Like, the news is just terrible, all the way from local news all the way up to.
Yeah, I know that. Just
God, it's just terrible.
Everything they add takes away from the thing.
Yeah.
Just okay.
What an idiot, by the way.
It pisses me off.
Look at this kid.
Drop his kid there. What an asshole.
Hopefully he gets put to jail. Hopefully CPS finds someone safe for that kid, because what the fuck?
Yeah, how dangerous was that? What was he thinking? You know what he was thinking? Here, get my picture. He said he wanted a picture with an African elephant. Yeah. Oh, so just go ahead and go into the enclosure, bro, and bring your kid. He's lucky he didn't get stomped to death.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, it also puts the elephant's life at risk. You know, they'll kill that elephant, and they kind of have to.
You know, I'm oh good, he's in jail.
Good.
I'm obviously against cancel culture. I don't think this is cancel culture, but I'm glad circuses are going the way of the dinosaur too, because you know they're known for just treating their animals terrible and just how they train elephants and stuff. But you always kind of root for the elephant when it snaps and it snuffs out its trainer's life like it's a smoldering cigarette butt. But then you feel bad because then they kill the elephant.
Right.
You know, I feel more bad about that than the trainer dying.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for someone that basically tortures an animal and the animal gets revenge on them.
Yep. I agree with you, man.
So yeah, that's the extreme of this. But you're right. Hopefully this elephant, I'm guessing in this case the elephant's going to be fine.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he
we
will
saw Harambe or whatever when that kid fell.
Right.
And I get why they did it.
They have to, especially like
They
in the
have
Harambe case.
Yep.
I support that. You
You
can't let the gorilla drag a little kid around.
You know, when that first happened, people assumed it was a white kid that fell. And so they were calling it basically a picture of race because they killed a gorilla to save a white kid. But that narrative really fell apart when they found out it was a non-white kid.
Man, I'm so tired of hearing about race.
Yes.
That actually makes me think of that. There's a reporter who, we could almost show the clip, but she's interviewing somebody and she says to him, well, that's because of your white privilege. She starts accusing him of having white privilege. That's why he was able to have success. And then he has to tell her, hey, I'm black.
She said, your team should have prepped you better. Your team should have prepped you better. I'm a black male.
That's right. Yeah. You've seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. What do you think? Should we call it?
Yeah, let's call it. Thursday, we'll do a show. I think we have a pretty cool one it is kind of a conspiracy because we're told that pesticides and everything that's happening to our food supply and all this isn't harming people. But the truth is coming out that it's not that at all. And, you know, they made Alex Jones just sound crazy with they're turning the frogs gay.
Yeah.
And he was right.
I love that is a true thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
So we'll have a cool segment on that, I think.
Yep. Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, had to come and let you know. This is the Nate and Dirt Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracy